Have you ever sat quietly one morning holding a warm cup of tea and suddenly thought, how much longer do I have left to live? Not out of fear, but because something in your heart longed to know, so you could organize your life more fully, to know when it's time to rest, when it's time to say thank you, and when it's time to smile and forgive. After 75, such questions aren't unfamiliar. In fact, they often linger in the minds of many. But what few realize is this: the answer to that question doesn't always lie in medical machines or blood tests. It lies in the way you walk, how well you sleep at night, and the way you smile when someone calls your name. This isn't magic. These are observations from large-scale studies, where doctors and scientists have found that our bodies constantly whisper soft but real signals about our own longevity. And today, in this video, we'll walk through 7 subtle signs. Each one is like a mirror reflecting your inner vitality, not to predict how many years you have left, but to gently remind you, you are alive, and there is still so much worth living for. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night, placed your hand on your chest, and felt your heartbeat softly pulsing, if your heart has ever tightened a little when remembering a friend who is no longer here, if you've ever silently wondered, will I still be able to walk through the park next autumn? Then this video is for you. And right now, let your body speak. Through every step you take, every breath you draw, and every peaceful night's sleep. Because sometimes, the way you're living today is already the answer for how you'll live tomorrow. One fascinating thing is, doctors don't always need to check your heart, lungs, or brain to assess how well you're doing. They just need to watch how you walk. One morning, I was in the park as usual. There was an elderly man named Walter, about 78 years old, walking with a little dog named Sammy. Walter never rushed, he didn't jog, he didn't hurry. But every step he took was steady and firm. He didn't need to stop halfway. He didn't run out of breath. He didn't lean on the park bench for support. I'll never forget when a neighbor once told him, "You don't walk like someone who's almost 80. Walter just smiled. But perhaps he didn't even realize that a steady walking pace is one of the strongest predictors of longevity that science has ever discovered. When you walk, your entire system is in sync. The heart pumps blood, the brain coordinates movement, muscles and bones work together, and the lungs regulate breathing. And when your walking slows down, especially unintentionally, it could mean, let me know if you'd like me to continue the translation. Especially when there's no clear reason for it, a slower walking pace might be the first sign that something in your body is weakening, even if you still feel okay. A study from the University of Pittsburgh found that people over the age of 75 who maintain a walking speed of more than 1 meter per second have a significantly higher chance of living another 10 years compared to those who walk slower. So if you're still taking morning walks, climbing a few stairs without feeling exhausted, stepping off the curb with confidence, know this: your body is sending you positive signals. On the other hand, if you find yourself slowing down, needing to pause midway, or hesitating to get up from a chair, it's not the end. It's an invitation to begin. Begin with gentle movements. Try climbing a few stairs each day. Walk around your yard, because walking speed is a sign that can be improved over time. If you've made it this far, comment "I'm still walking" to let me know you're still with me. Are you still walking every day? Do your steps still feel steady? Share your story so we can learn from each other and inspire one another. There's a small challenge that seems almost trivial, but scientists now consider it one of the silent keys to predicting true longevity. Balancing on one foot for 10 seconds. It sounds simple. But when you actually try it, stand on one foot, arms by your sides, eyes looking forward, and hold the position, you'll be surprised how difficult it can be, especially after the age of 75. Arthur, a 77-year-old man, once shared during a routine checkup that he chuckled when the doctor asked him to try this. "It's just standing on one foot," he said. But then, as he lifted his left foot and tried to maintain balance, he found himself wobbling, reaching out to the wall to avoid falling. The doctor smiled and said, "What you just experienced is more important than any test result. It's a message your body is whispering to you." Balance is closely tied to the coordination between your nervous system, body awareness, vision, muscle strength, and your inner ear. the primary organ for balance. When any of these systems start to weaken, the body's immediate reaction is instability. A 2022 study from Brazil showed that people over 70 who could not balance on one foot for 10 seconds had almost double the risk of dying within the next 7 years compared to those who could. But what truly matters is this: losing your balance doesn't mean the end, it's a new beginning. Arthur shared that after that doctor's visit, he started practicing balance every morning next to his kitchen counter, with a nearby wall in case he needed support. Just 15 seconds a day. The first week, he still wobbled. By the third week, he could hold the position for 9 seconds. And by the second month, he was able to stay balanced for 15 seconds, without touching anything at all. He said that moment felt like reclaiming a piece of himself. His sense of control, independence, and above all, confidence. Balance is a skill that can be trained. Strengthening leg muscles, practicing balance, doing gentle yoga, or even standing on your toes while brushing your teeth. All of these help rebuild your body's natural support system. Why is this so important? Because loss of balance is the leading cause of falls in older adults. And for someone over 75, a fall doesn't just mean bruises. It can mean fractures, long hospital stays, loss of independence, depression, and sadly, a rapid decline in overall health. I have a friend named Gloria, she's 81. One slip in the bathroom put her in the hospital for over a month. But what made her the saddest wasn't the pain, it was the feeling that she was no longer strong enough to stand on her own. After that, she made a decision to relearn each small step, balancing while getting dressed, not sitting for too long. Going up the stairs, one step at a time. Gloria said, "Every time I manage to balance without grabbing onto something, it feels like I've just walked through a storm and stayed standing." If you've made it this far, leave a comment. I'm still holding my balance if you've ever tried this test, or if you're ready to start today. Let's share simple balance exercises we love and help each other stay steady longer. Not just physically, but emotionally too. You can tell a lot just from a handshake. Not just emotions, but health. Modern science shows that grip strength is one of the simplest yet strongest predictors of real longevity in older adults. Imagine this: you're opening a jar of pickles. Can you open it easily? Or do you feel weak, have trouble holding heavy things, or often need help with tasks you once did alone? Grip strength isn't just about muscles, it's connected to your nervous system, musculoskeletal health, and even your immune function. A study from the University of Michigan found that for every 5 kilograms drop in grip strength, the risk of early death increases by 16%, regardless of BMI, age, or gender. Henry, a once energetic 70-year-old, began to notice something strange. He couldn't open sauce jars like he used to. When carrying his grandchild, his arms would tire much more quickly than before. Shall I continue with the translation? At first, Henry thought it was just old age, but during a routine health checkup, the doctor used a hand grip dynamometer and discovered that his grip strength had decreased by 22% in just 18 months. At the time, Henry wasn't in pain, he didn't have a cough or noticeable weight loss, but his body was quietly signaling, "I'm getting weaker." And the important thing is, he listened. Henry started with simple exercises: squeezing a tennis ball every morning, lifting light dumbbells, 1 to 2 kilograms, even using a hand gripper while watching TV. After just a few weeks, he noticed clear improvements, not just in his hands, but also in his balance, movement, and even mood. Another study from the University of Glasgow, Scotland, with over 500,000 participants, showed that people with stronger hand grip strength had significantly lower risks of heart disease, cancer, and lung problems. And more than that, stronger grip strength was linked to faster recovery after surgery, shorter hospital stays, and fewer complications. But many people ignore this sign because it's not loud. There's no immediate pain. You only feel the change in small moments, when opening a jar, lifting grocery bags, shaking someone's hand, and realizing you're not as firm as you used to be. We often think that strength lives in our legs, but the truth is, our hands are the quiet messengers of life. Strong hands let you do the dishes, cook meals, play with your grandchildren, write letters, or hold a cup of coffee. When your grip weakens, it's not just inconvenient, it's a warning sign that your ability to live independently may be declining. I once met a woman named Ruth. She's 82 and lives alone in suburban Ohio. Ruth said she started carrying a water bottle during her daily 15-minute walks around the yard. She even bought a lightweight racket to play a bit of tennis with her grandson on weekends. And through those seemingly small movements, she felt like she was grabbing joy back. Literally. If you're wondering how to rebuild your hand strength, start simple. Squeeze a soft rubber ball 10 times on each hand, 2-3 times a day. Use light resistance bands to stretch your arm muscles. Lift 1 to 2 kilograms dumbbells up and down while watching TV. Do light wall push-ups or press against a high table. Arm strength is like memory. If you don't use it, you lose it. But with care and small daily habits, it can come back. Have you ever noticed a change in your grip strength? Have you struggled to open something simple? Comment, "I'm still holding my grip" if you're actively training, or "I'll start today" if you're ready to give it a try. Grip strength is a reflection of your overall health, and every time you can hold something firmly, it may be the very moment you're holding on to life itself. How do you wake up each morning? Is it with a sense of lightness, filled with energy like you've just completed a peaceful journey in your dreams? Or is it with heaviness, fatigue, as if the night was just a silent battle? Sleep is the truest mirror of how your body is functioning. After age 75, sleep is no longer just rest. It becomes a vital tool for healing, repair, and renewal. Frank, a 68-year-old man, used to pride himself on getting by with just 5 hours of sleep a night and still being productive all day. But after retirement, he started to feel his energy fade more quickly. Back pain became more frequent. He lost patience more easily. One day, while picking up his grandchild from school, he accidentally dropped a carton of milk and suddenly burst into tears. Not because of the milk, but because he couldn't understand why he was so exhausted. That's when Frank began reevaluating his sleep habits. He read books, talked to his doctor, and made small changes. Going to bed earlier, avoiding coffee after 4 p.m., taking evening walks, and letting natural light wake him up in the morning. After just 3 months, he slept more deeply, woke up fewer times during the night, and felt a noticeable physical recovery. Studies from Harvard University show older adults who sleep less than 6 hours per night have a 48% higher risk of heart disease, a 15% higher risk of stroke, and are 33% more likely to experience early memory loss compared to those who get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Furthermore, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, over 50% of people over 65 struggle with sleep, including trouble falling asleep, light or fragmented sleep, or waking up multiple times at night. The good news is, sleep can be improved, no matter your age. Elizabeth, 80, who lives alone in California, shared that she used to wake up at 2 a.m. and couldn't fall back asleep. It went on for 5 years. But when she began a new routine, 10 minutes of light meditation before bed, soft piano music, and a cup of chamomile tea, she found herself sleeping through the night. "I no longer feel like I survived the night," she said. "I feel like I actually lived in my sleep." Sleep affects nearly every major system in the body. Cardiovascular. Deep sleep helps regulate blood pressure and reduces the risk of arrhythmias. Immune system. During sleep, your body produces cytokines, proteins that help fight inflammation. Memory and mood. REM sleep helps consolidate memory, process emotions, and maintain mental clarity. Metabolism. Poor sleep increases the risk of type 2 diabetes and obesity. If you often wake up feeling tired or suffer from chronic insomnia, don't just assume it's normal with age. It's a signal, and you can change it. Some simple ways to improve sleep. Keep a consistent sleep and wake schedule, even on weekends. Avoid screens, phones, TVs, at least 1 hour before bed. Create a dark, quiet, and cool sleep environment. Avoid heavy meals or alcohol before bedtime. Try nature sounds or soft music to relax. Sometimes, sleep issues stem from underlying conditions like sleep apnea, medication side effects, or depression. In those cases, don't hesitate to speak to your doctor. Sleeping well isn't a luxury. It's a basic right to help you live a healthier and more meaningful life. How many hours do you usually sleep each night? Do you wake up feeling refreshed? Comment, "I'm improving my sleep," or share the bedtime habit that helps you so we can learn and support each other. Because how you sleep tonight may shape how you live 10 years from now. One of the most subtle but important signs that you still have vitality and resilience after age 75 is your appetite. Your desire to enjoy meals, to savor flavors, and to nourish yourself. Appetite isn't just about feeling hungry, it's a signal that your body still wants to thrive, to heal, and to grow. It shows that your digestive system is active, your hormones are in balance, and your nervous system is still clearly communicating. Charles, 73, used to be someone who never skipped breakfast. A cup of coffee, a bowl of cinnamon oatmeal, a few apple slices, simple but enough to make him feel energized and cheerful every morning. But about a year ago, Charles began losing interest in food, especially in the mornings. He skipped breakfast, then had just a bit of bread for lunch. After a few months, he lost nearly 9 pounds, felt sluggish, irritable, and often dizzy. After seeing his doctor, Charles learned he didn't have any major illness, but the loss of appetite could be a sign of metabolic changes, mild depression, or even just loneliness. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that about 27% of adults over 70 experience persistent appetite loss, and this is directly linked to unintended weight loss, muscle loss, weakened immune system, increased risk of death within 5 years. Would you like me to continue translating the next section? But the good news is this: appetite, just like memory or balance, can be restored. So, how can we awaken a healthy desire to eat again? Elizabeth, a 78-year-old woman, shared that after her husband passed away, she ate very little. She used to love cooking, but gradually lost interest. That is, until one day, her granddaughter invited her into the kitchen. Together, they made a traditional chicken soup. As the aroma filled the kitchen, Elizabeth felt a warmth return to her heart, and when she took the first spoonful, she cried. It wasn't because the soup was so delicious. It was because I felt alive again. Eating is deeply tied to emotions, memories, and connection. Many older adults who live alone may feel that meals are meaningless, but when eating with someone else, or enjoying a dish that stirs memories, the appetite can slowly return. According to the National Institute on Aging, NIA, sharing meals with others at least twice a week can significantly improve appetite in seniors. Additionally, here are a few gentle ways to naturally rekindle your appetite. Add natural herbs and spices like cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, or fresh herbs to stimulate taste buds. Avoid overly salty or sugary foods, but do make your meals look colorful and appealing. Eat smaller meals throughout the day instead of forcing yourself to eat too much at once. Create a warm and inviting dining space with natural light and maybe some soft background music. Drink enough water daily to avoid confusing thirst with a loss of appetite. Certain medical factors can also affect appetite, such as dry mouth, medications, or poorly fitting dentures. If you suspect any of these, talk to your doctor or dentist. But above all, the most important thing is this: don't dismiss a fading appetite as just a natural part of aging. Every meal you look forward to, every dish that brings you joy, those are signs that your body is still alive, still craving to continue. Do you still look forward to meals the way you once did? Is there a dish that makes you feel comforted and healed? Comment below with, "I'm awakening my appetite," or share a meaningful dish from your past with a loved one. Because when we share, the flavor of life becomes richer. Because sometimes the very fact that you still crave food is the most beautiful sign that you still want to live. After turning 75, you may no longer be able to control everything that happens around you. But how you respond says so much about your inner health and longevity. A calm heart and a steady spirit aren't just marks of experience. They're powerful indicators that your nervous system is still functioning in harmony. Gerald, 76, used to be quick to anger. A missed phone call or a reckless driver would leave him fuming. But one day, when a pipe burst in the kitchen, he didn't yell. He simply took a deep breath, grabbed some towels, called a plumber, and laughed. "It's not worth raising my blood pressure over." Gerald's transformation didn't happen by chance. After his wife passed away, he began practicing meditation, taking morning walks, and journaling his emotions. Gradually, he realized that being calm didn't just feel better, it actually made him healthier. According to researchers at the University of California, San Francisco, older adults who are emotionally regulated and less reactive to stress are 44% more likely to live at least 10 years longer than those who frequently experience anxiety or anger. Another study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that chronic stress increases the risk of stroke by 27%, raises blood pressure by 38%, and accelerates cellular aging by up to 50%. The good news? Calmness is a skill that can be cultivated. Linda, 71, shared in a wellness group, "I used to react strongly to everything. But now, whenever I feel my heart racing, I pause, place my hand on my chest, take a deep breath, and tell myself, everything will be okay." Being calm doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being able to return to balance once emotions pass. That's when your parasympathetic nervous system activates, helping you lower your blood pressure, regulate your heartbeat, reduce inflammation in the body, improve digestion, and sleep. Here are a few gentle tips to help you build a calmer response to stress. Try the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, exhale for 8 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Keep a daily emotion journal. Just a few lines each evening can help your mind let go. Take a walk in nature for at least 10 minutes a day. Practice gentle meditation or senior yoga. Many videos are available on YouTube or at local community centers. Sharing your worries with someone you trust. Sometimes a single conversation is enough to soothe the mind. If you've ever thought that you can't change the way you react to life's challenges, think again. Many studies show that even if you start at age 70 or later, you can still rebuild a more balanced nervous system through healthy habits. Remember, you don't need to eliminate stress from life. You just need to learn how to move through it without being swept away. Have you recently handled a stressful moment without losing your cool? Share that story or comment, "I'm learning to stay calm," to inspire others who may be watching this video just like you. Because the ability to stay grounded inside, that's your umbrella in life's sudden storms. And it might just help you live longer. Can you still remember your grandkids' birthdays? Do you follow conversations easily or often find yourself thinking, "What was I just about to do?" After age 75, small signs in memory and connection can reveal a lot about your overall health and life expectancy. Linda, 72, is a wonderful example. Every morning she reads, does crossword puzzles, and writes down something new she's learned in a notebook. She still handles the family finances and reminds members of her book club about upcoming meetings. She doesn't think it's anything special, but it's a sign that her brain is healthy. And that matters more than we might realize. According to the National Institute on Aging, NIA, after age 70, cognitive decline increases by an average of 3% per year. But for those who stay mentally and socially active, this rate can be nearly zero during the first 5 to 7 years. A separate study from Rush University in Chicago followed over 1,200 seniors for 10 years and found that those who participated in regular social activities, at least twice a week, had a 47% lower risk of dementia. Why do memory and connection affect longevity? Because the brain isn't just for remembering. It controls everything in the body, from movement and emotion to heart rate and digestion. When you stay mentally sharp, you maintain your ability to react quickly to danger, care for yourself, stay independent longer, communicate, connect, and avoid depression. Evelyn, 79, shared that every Sunday she calls her sister who lives in another state for a chat. Every morning she walks her dog and greets the neighbors. "I don't have many friends," she said, "but I'm not lonely." Connection isn't about how many contacts are in your phone. It's the feeling that you're still needed, still heard, still loved. According to the American Society on Aging, ASA, chronic loneliness increases the risk of early death as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It also raises the chances of Alzheimer's, depression, and weakened immunity. But here's the good news. You can maintain and even improve your memory and sense of connection, no matter your age. Here are a few gentle suggestions. Read every day, even just a few pages. Try simple brain games like Sudoku, puzzles, or crosswords. Keep a journal. Write letters or pen down memories. Call an old friend, just because. Enroll in a new class, art, music, dancing, or cooking. With today's technology, you can join online groups on Zoom, take virtual classes, or stay in touch with grandkids via FaceTime. The key is to keep your mind and heart from becoming isolated. Are you still feeling mentally sharp each day? Do you have someone to share life's little stories with? Comment, "I'm still connected," or share an activity that makes you feel closer to the world around you. Because you're not just extending your lifespan, you're protecting the quality and meaning of your life. An 80-year-old woman once shared in a group conversation, "I no longer climb hills or carry heavy loads, but I still remember the names of all my grandchildren, still cook for myself, and still smile at the mailman every morning. And that's enough for me to know I'm still living a meaningful life." You see, true longevity isn't about the year you were born or the number of candles on your cake. It's found in the smallest details. A firm handshake, a peaceful night's sleep, a genuine laugh, someone who listens to you, and someone you listen to in return. If you feel like you've slowed down lately, that's not the end. It's simply a gentle reminder to turn inward, reflect, and realign. And if you're living alone, please remember, you're not alone. There are millions of others your age, also listening, also learning to love their bodies again, and figuring out how to keep living more gently and more deeply. Aging isn't a full stop. It's a new chapter, one that's unhurried, quiet, yet full of wisdom and beauty. So continue your journey with kindness toward yourself. Walk with steady steps, savor every meal, rest deeply each night, and connect with others with your whole heart. You've listened this far, and if there's something in this video that touched you, please leave a comment below. What spoke to you the most today? What's one thing you'd like to begin changing tomorrow? We read every word you write, and your comment, it may just be a tiny light that reaches someone else who needs encouragement, just like you. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. That's how you help us continue sharing kind, moving, and meaningful content with older adults all over the world. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for continuing your journey with the belief that growing older may just be the most profound and fulfilling time of your life. After age 75, small signs in your memory and ability to connect with others can reveal so much about your overall health and how many meaningful years may still lie ahead. Linda, 72, is a perfect example. Every morning she reads, does crossword puzzles, and writes down something new she's learned in her notebook. She still manages the family budget and reminds her book club members of their meeting schedule. To her, it's nothing special, but it's a quiet sign that her brain is still thriving. And that matters more than you think. According to the National Institute on Aging (NIA), after age 70, cognitive decline typically accelerates by about 3% per year. But for those who remain mentally and socially active, this rate can be close to zero for the first 5 to 7 years. Another long-term study from Rush University in Chicago, which followed over 1,200 older adults for 10 years, found that people who engaged in regular social activities, at least twice a week, had a 47% lower risk of developing dementia. Why do memory and connection matter so much for longevity? Because the brain isn't just where memories are stored, it's the command center of your entire body, managing everything from movement and mood to heartbeat and digestion. When your mind stays sharp, you're more likely to react quickly to danger, take care of yourself, maintain your independence longer, stay connected, and ward off depression. Evelyn, 79, shared that every Sunday, she still calls her sister in another state just to chat. Every morning, she walks her dog and greets her neighbors. "I don't have many friends," she said, "but I'm not lonely." Connection isn't about how many names are in your contact list. It's about feeling needed, heard, and loved. According to the American Society on Aging (ASA), chronic loneliness increases the risk of early death as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It also raises the likelihood of Alzheimer's disease, depression, and immune system decline. But here's the good news. Connection and memory can be preserved and even improved, no matter how old you are. Here are a few gentle ways to help keep your mind clear and your heart connected. Read every day, even if just a few pages. Try light brain games like Sudoku, puzzles, or crosswords. Keep a journal. Write handwritten letters or reflect on your memories. Call an old friend, just because. Join a new class. art, music, dance, or cooking. With today's technology, you can join virtual social groups via Zoom, take online courses, or FaceTime with your grandkids. What matters most is not letting your brain or your heart become isolated. Are you still feeling mentally clear each day? Do you have someone to share life's little moments with? Comment, "I'm still connected," or share one activity that helps you feel closer to the world around you. Because you're not just adding years to your life, you're preserving the quality and meaning of your journey.